Hello, everybody. So here we're going to look at the question of why is there anything here? It's a question that comes up. I've seen people ask it a few times in these question and answer sessions with spiritual teachers, and they have very different answers. We can look at it from first from a dualistic point of view, from say the Abrahamic religions, where God is seen maybe to have created us to love him and or to worship him, and also to share his love with us, this reciprocal thing going on. He loves us as well. But that seems quite anthropomorphic. Just we're projecting human psychology onto God and imagining that God is like this. But then if, God made us in his image, maybe he had this kind of human psychology and we got it from him. I don't know. I tend to think that it makes it doesn't paint God in a very good light. If he's, as we see in the Old Testament, he kind of sees a bit bitter and jealous. I am a jealous God. I think he does actually say that. So it's not so satisfying. We've got other ones that we're here to evolve and purify. So that comes from I think there's some Christian mystical thought that go along those lines, and Hindu ideas and maybe early Buddhist ideas that we're supposed to here to evolve and get better. Then we've got the idea of it's the play of God, it's Leela. The dance of Shiva. So all this is God dancing. And why do you dance? Just for dancing. You don't ask anyone who's dancing, where are you going? They're just dancing for the fun of it. So that's another answer maybe. Then we've got, similar to that, we've got an idea from Alan Watts, where he's got this story that God wanted to play hide and seek. So he created this world to explore and hid himself in a person, and then did it so well, of course, because he's God, that he completely forgot. And our current situation is we're playing this game looking for God. And of course, as they say in the Sufis say, what you're looking for is yourself, or something like that. Right. After that, we have some ideas from more serious Buddhists, like the Tibetan Buddhists, Madhyamaka Buddhism, and also Gaudapada, who is the commentator for the Mandukya Karika. He was accused of being a crypto-Buddhist, so a hidden Buddhist, secretly a Buddhist. And the idea is that nothing was ever created. It's an illusion. It's like a mirage. It's like the snake and the rope. So you see a snake on the ground. It's actually a rope. Now, when was the snake created? Well, the snake wasn't created. There's no snake. When will the snake be destroyed? Well, it won't be destroyed. Will it slither off when you have enlightenment? No, it was never there. And it was just a mistake that we saw it. The rope lent its existence to the snake. There is something there, definitely. It's not like when we talk about the world being illusion, it doesn't mean that there's nothing there. What is here is existence itself, is God, but we mistake it for what's here. So that's the same thing. There was nothing ever created. Nothing ever destroyed, no one to seek enlightenment, no one to be enlightened, all of that stuff. Now, after him, Shankaracharya came along, and he was the teacher's, the student of Gaudapada, basically. And he softened it a bit. He said that although that may be true in the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality, on this transactional reality, we do live in a world where we have to do things. And so it is worth, trying to participate in this existence. A bit like in the Rupert Spira idea of a play, that, you're playing a role in the play and you've got to play it well. Do your best, get into the emotions and all into the action. But it's okay, it's only a play. Then we come on to the idea that I like the most, and this is based on the idea of how the mind imposes space-time and causation. So the mind, or Maya. So Maya projects the illusion. It actually does two things. It projects the illusion and it hides the truth. It's a bit like when you fall asleep. When you fall asleep, you forget that you're sleeping. You don't know you're sleeping. You've forgotten that bit that you went to bed not long ago. So it hides that from you, and also it projects the dream. So it has these two facets, or two things that it does. Now, part of Maya is time, space, and causation. So when I was a kid, and this is seen in, say, in idealism as well, where they see the mind as having, Immanuel Kant saw the mind as having these things to understand the world. I'm not really an expert, but time, space, and causation is part of the mind. And this was passed on it was taken up by other idealists, Schopenhauer, and then all the way down the line to Bernardo Kastrup, who also promotes this idea that time, space, and causation is part of his interface. And so does Donald Hoffman. He says that time, space, and causation is part of the interface. When I was a kid, I used to be interested in astronomy. I like looking at the sky, and I used to read books about the Big Bang, and I used to think, this is incredible, but what was before the Big Bang? And I knew that time and space was created at the Big Bang. So what was before the Big Bang then? How could it be before time? I was trying to get my head around that. Or what did the universe expand into? What's outside space? And the thing is that before is a time word. It's used for talking about time. If there's no time, and I know we say before time and we imagine that the time still keeps flowing, but we said that time is created at that point. So when it's something that we're not talking, it's something that's not time there. So it's a bit like using time to talk about a teapot or an orange. In the same with outside space. Outside is a space word. It's used for talking about space. It's not used for talking. I was going to say not used for talking about teapots, but yeah, you could talk about outside the teapot if you want, as the teapot's in space. But I suppose you get my idea. It's not a word that we can use with space, with something that's not space. You can't say outside something that's not space. What's outside blue, for example? Maybe that's a better example than the teapot. Now, if we look at the idea of causality as being part of the interface or part of Maya, then outside there is no causality. It's how we understand things. We see these patterns happening and we say, oh yeah, there's a cause between it. We see one thing and then another thing after that, and we say, well, there was this magic thing that happened between the two that caused the next thing to happen. But if you look at, for example, the seasons, we always see the spring, the summer, the autumn, the winter. It's getting less defined nowadays, but you would say, well, clearly the spring causes the summer, the summer causes the winter. Or in a dream, you see somebody kick a ball and it makes the ball move. Now, the kicking and the ball moving, that is created by the dream. It's not actually because there was any kicking of any ball going on. You just saw it happen, but we impose this meaning on afterwards. So when we ask why is there anything here? The answer is because of this, because of that, because God loves us, etc. But the thing is that because the answer is a cause, and because that causality only applies inside our little dream or our world that we are navigating inside the mind, outside of Maya, outside the mind, there is no causation. So it's the same as trying to say what's outside space or what's before time. It just doesn't work. So this question is a human question. We evolved the need to know why things happen so that we could survive and reproduce, feed ourselves, etc. It's a human question. For the enlightened person, on this side of enlightenment, there is a question: why did it appear? On the other side of enlightenment, there is no question. Now, I don't know if that is satisfying for anybody. For me, it actually works. I like it. You might be, although sometimes I drift into duality, and I like exploring ideas of dualism as well. So maybe you have your own particular favorite. There was one last one that I heard from Swami Savaripurananda that says that Brahman can either manifest or not manifest. It's one or the other. And in our life, we have both. We have the waking state where everything is manifest, and we have the deep sleep state where nothing is manifest. We have the beginning of the universe, and then the end of the universe, and then nothing. So we have both. We do actually have all possible possibilities of manifest and manifest. I don't know what you find the most useful. Tell me if you want. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching the video. Goodbye.